Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we'll see how we can develop a batch application that will upload file from your local file system to remote SFTP server. And you know this is a common requirement in industry where after generating reports, you need to upload it to some SFTP server for further processing. So let's start with reviewing the dependencies that are required for building this project. So here you can see I am using Maven and I have added Spring Batch dependency. Then I have added Spring Web dependency. This is just to trigger the batch job and to have the inbuilt Tomcat server for our application. Next, the most important dependency is Spring Integration SFTP. This will provide the SFTP classes that are required to upload the file. Next is the Oracle dependency. You can use any other database. This is just for the Spring Batch to store its metadata, and the rest is fine. These are all the test dependencies. And if you don't have any SFTP server and you want to create one for your practice, you can visit sftpcloud.io and you just need to click on create SFTP server. So this will provide SFTP server which is free of cost for 1 hour, and just it will be auto deleted after 1 hour. So for practice you can use this. Now let's start our coding. So now you can see in the application.properties, I have configured database related properties, and also I have configured SFTP host, port, username, password, and also I have configured the directory in which we will be uploading files. Now let's focus on the configuration. For that I have created one class SftpConfig and mark it with @configuration. Now we need to define bean for SftpSessionFactory. So I am just creating one method with @bean annotation and it will be default SftpSessionFactory. So I'm just defining the method here, and now we'll be creating one instance for that. So let me just create one instance of default SftpSessionFactory, and next we'll be configuring the username. So it will be set user. Here we'll pass over the username from application.properties. Now we'll be setting the password. So it will be set password, and again the password from application.properties. Next we need to configure port. So I'm using the setter method for the port. Next we will set allow unknown keys to true. Basically this value is set to true for the development environment only, and it will allow you to connect to the host which are not present in your known host file. Next we will return default session factory. Next we need to define bean for SftpRemoteFileTemplate. Basically we will be using this to perform all the file operations on the remote SFTP directory. So I'm just creating one instance of this. So return new SftpRemoteFileTemplate, and we'll be passing the SftpSessionFactory we just created above. So with this we are done with the configuration. Now we'll be focusing on integrating this template to upload files. For that we'll be using Spring Tasklet, and we'll be injecting SFTP file template over there. So let me just create one tasklet. So here you can see I have created one class which is implementing Tasklet, and I have autofired SftpRemoteFileTemplate because this is a class that actually performs different operations like upload, download, delete, and list. By the way, if you found this useful so far, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It will really help me, and you can also comment which videos you want next on my channel. Now coming back to the topic. So let's say we have one file that we need to upload. So I am just creating the object of file. So file is equal to new file, and here I will be providing the location of the file. Next we'll be checking the file exists or not. So for that I am using file.exist, and I will be negating this condition. So basically if the file does not exist, this will be true, and we'll be throwing some exception. For now I am just throwing runtime exception. Actually this should be some custom exception which is more meaningful, but for time being I am just throwing runtime exception with some custom message that file does not exist. So if the file exists, we'll be uploading it to remote directory using SftpRemoteFileTemplate, and we'll be calling the execute method, and inside the execute method we will be getting session over the remote directory. So here let me just define the directory in which we want to upload the file. So it will be remote directory is equal to /public/example. Now first we'll be checking if the directory exists or not using the session object. So it will be session.exist, and here we'll be passing the path for the remote directory, and if it doesn't exist then we'll be creating the directory. So for that we'll be using session.makeDirectory, and we'll be passing the path. So this will basically create the directory on the remote server. Next, to upload file on the remote directory, we need to use input stream. So I'm just creating an input stream from our file. Inside try with resources is equal to new file input stream, and here we'll be providing our file. So this will basically convert our file as an input stream, and we'll be using session.write, and here we can pass the input stream Next, we need to pass the remote directory in which we want to upload the file, and we can just return null from here. That is fine. So with this, we are done with the coding. We are first checking the file exists in our local file system or not. If the file exists, then we are proceeding towards upload, and we are first checking if the remote directory exists. If it doesn't exist, we are creating one using session.make directory, and then we are using session.write to write our file as an input stream over the remote directory. Next, we need to define one step which will be invoking this tasklet, and we need to define one job as well. So I have already done that. Let me show you. So here you can see I have defined one job, and job consists of one step. So this is the SFTP file upload step, and basically from this step we are just invoking the tasklet. And to trigger the job, I have just created one REST controller, and it will be basically triggering the job using job launcher. So here you can see I have auto-wired job launcher and my job, and basically I have used job launcher.run. So we are done with the coding. Now let me just start the server, and also we'll be connecting to SFTP server and check whether we are able to upload file or not. So let me just start the server first. So server started successfully. Now we will be connecting to the SFTP server using FileZilla and check whether our code is working fine or not. So let me use this host and username and password. So here you can see I am connected to the SFTP server where we need to upload a file. Now let me trigger the job, and let's see if the directory is created and file is uploaded or not. So let me just clear the logs, and now we'll be hitting the REST endpoint to trigger the job. So it will be localhost API batch trigger SFTP, and we got exception. So here we can see what the error is. The host must not be empty. So here we forgot to add the host. So let me just add the host here, set host, and we'll be passing the host here, and this will fix our error. So let me just restart the server, and we'll be trying again. So server is restarted. Now I will be clearing the logs, and let me hit the job again. So we can see it is completed, and now we can go to FileZilla and check whether the directories and that file is uploaded or not. So let me just refresh this. So here we can see the directory is created, and inside the directory the file is also uploaded successfully. Before concluding this video, I would like to share my website springjavalab.com. Here you can find multiple articles on Spring Batch, Spring Boot, Java 21, Java 25, even Java interview questions. So do check it out. The link is in the I button and in the pinned comment. And if you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.